Great, you're quite near to it.
I think it's a process in which the input is transformed to the output. I mean,
Maybe we can also say that to get the raw data and get the output out of that. Transforming of raw data to a readable something like that, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yes. So all of you are correct actually, pretty much. So transformations are basically nothing but, it's a collection of steps which do data transformation in one way or other way. Okay. So basically data is converted from one form to another form, X form to Y form. Okay. Doesn't matter. So when I say it's maybe cleansing rule is present, maybe a data transformation like transpose is present, aggregation is present. So this, the only thing is like no data from one form is getting converted to another form. Okay, that is what we are doing. Now as a part of Pentaho, this also implies to Pentaho data transformation here what you see. Okay, so when you go to the new file, you see two things. One is the transformation and one is job. Okay, so let me talk about today about the definition of both these, okay, so that you will have a clear cut understanding what transformation can do and what job can do. Okay, so transformation, as you guys said, will remains hold here. Okay, the only thing which is quite different, which you guys didn't talk about is transformation. In transformation, all the job steps, okay, I would say in transformation all the steps runs in parallel, whereas in jobs data transformation happens in sequence. I'll take a simple example and I'll show you. Now there are a couple of, so in the transform folder, okay, there are a couple of predefined transformation steps which do a particular functionality of data transformation. So the best thing that Pentaho provides is do a rollover on any of these steps. It will provide you one liner definition to it. Okay, so if I just move say add constant, so it says add one or more constants to the input rows. Can anyone tell me what it means just by seeing the one liner?
Just a quick guess. I think either it's going to add a new column with a constant, like a new field, or it means like basically you can increment a specific field by a constant.
Correct. So basically the first one, so what it says is I want, so this says add a constant. That means you are adding a constant, and then how you will add a constant? The only way to add a constant is creating a column. So what it will do is, so let me create a dummy data row. So test is the column name. I will define it as a number and I will say the 10. So the number of rows will get produced will be 10. So this is a dummy generator row step that we talked about yesterday. Now, so I have one column coming. So now here I can define a column. So in the ETL you will see a couple of examples, like you have a you get a need to add a constant value to your input field. So this is one of the way. So I want to say, okay, whatever data flowing here coming to this stream is, I can define say gender, and this is of type string, and I would say the data which will come here, it's a male data. Okay, so I am adding a constant. Let me put the log. Now I see the two columns. One is this is the column that I have generated here, and this is the second column. Now I'll run it. So you will see here, so 10 times because we have put the 10 rows, and this is a constant value, and this is again the constant value. So gender male is repeating in all of them. So this is a constant value, a constant column with a constant value in it. Okay, and there is no necessity that you need to define something. If you leave it blank also, it will accept it and it will run it properly. So null will come. Okay, So this is about the add constant step. We'll see a couple of them others also. Adding a checksum is basically, it says you add a checksum to any of the particular combination of fields. So this is basically to uniquely identify, okay, particular data. So you can define the checksum rule as CRC32. You can also define some MD5. So these are the different rules for adding a checksum. So this is basically used when you want to define some checksum and to define whether the data coming from the fields are they are same or they are different. So I'll just give you a simple example here. Let me put it here. So let's say column number A, let's say string, say test. Now we have 10 rows here. Now the checksum for 1 and test will remain same because both of them are same values coming every time. Okay, just wait. So now you see, right? So what is the internal algorithm here defined is, what it do, it takes the whatever the number of fields that you define in the checksum, it will concatenate them and it will provide them a hexadecimal value, or I would say, okay, not hexadecimal, sorry, it provides the hash value for them. Okay, so basically if you see the value is same in all the 10 rows, that's why I am getting the same checksum value every time. Got it?
I just have a question here. So is the checksum just to generate the hexadecimal value? Is
Not
that the only
exactly. See,
function?
basically the functionality here is to uniquely identify, okay, whether I have some repeated values coming, or maybe I can see as a kind of bucketing. So if I'm getting X amount of data, okay, and I know most of them are repeated data. So let's take about a simple example of Walmart. Okay, so I have different buckets. Okay, and I want to start analyzing from the data. There are 100 people and how many items from them is common. So I can define the checksum. If all of the checksum is coming to one bucket, that means many of the people are buying one type of items, right? Because the checksum will remain the same for all of them. Because they have purchased the same item, the code will be different. So basically if I have two items, so how checksum works basically is it concatenates different fields and give you a hash value for it. Okay, so you can go and easily define in which particular bucket it has fallen in, and then you can get a count of it.
It's like maybe some nowadays when you download something, you have a checksum also.
Yes.
Like you check the content that you downloaded and the checksum that's on server is the same.
So basically,
Okay, so if there is a difference in the value? Yeah,
See,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, my question was like, it will generate the same hash value if there's no change, right? If there's no difference.
Correct. So
Between
suppose one and say checksum will come. One is one field and checksum is another field value. Okay. If one and checksum will come, the hash value will remain the same for both of them. Okay. So any number of times once the field number 1 will come as 1 and field number 2 will come as checksum, the value given to them every time will remain the same. So whether they repeat 1000 times, they repeat 1,000,000 times, doesn't matter. It will, the value for both of them as a checksum value will remain same.
Okay.
Okay. So you can easily identify in which.
Nandana, to give you a real world example.
Sorry.
Divankar. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically it is used for the kind of thing where you have to do a counting. How many of, say 1 million records, you have to do a simple aggregation rule, top 10 and top 20 fields. Okay, you can do a checksum and you can easily identify which has the maximum count, and then you can arrange them in the descending order. And this is one of the
Okay.
easiest way to find, the checksum. So if I do a concatenate, because a string operation, it will be very, very slow. So if I do a checksum, if I take a checksum, I will move forward. I know the combination of the checksum. I can quickly go and, correlate back to the bucket individual items.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So
Vandana, to add to what Divankar said, the other time you'd use it, like let's say you want to, in your transformation, you're looking up multiple points. Like let's say you want to start grouping consumers, and you want to know everybody who bought a black sweater from, let's say, in India, in Bangalore, in December, right? And so you got like 5 different text fields. One way to do it would be to like do an and, or what Divankar is showing us is you would just basically do a checksum on all those fields. And now your compares are just literally on one integer value as opposed to 5 string values. So it's going to run much faster.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see.
yeah,
All right, I
basically
got
it
it.
is a hash value, right? This is, the one of the fastest way of moving the thing. So let's move to the next one called sequence. Sequence yesterday we saw, right? We are adding a sequence, the incremental value. This will work remain the same as of the database sequence. The functionality will remain the same. So I think yesterday we covered, right? Sequence. Okay, so what it says is in sequence, in the first tab, what we have seen yesterday is any number of rows which is coming from my previous tab, which will get passed here, it will get auto increment by 1 for the sequence, right? Now what this add value changing sequence means is it do different, it is almost the same, it will also add a sequence but in a different manner. Whenever there is a change in a particular field value, okay, then only it will go and increment it by 1 or whatever the increment value you are going to define it here. If my value will remain the same as of last time, I am not going to change it. So this will be helpful when you have to identify as a kind of stuff as a sequence which will tell me how many unique records are present. Okay, so what I will do is I will put the particular field which has n number of repetitive and I will have a counter in front of it. So whenever there is a change in value, the counter will get increment by 1 and it has a associated number attached to it. The only thing is it has to be in sorted manner if you go with that way. So it has, it has sure, right? The step needs to be in the sorted on the specified fields, because if it is not in sorted, so definitely your counting will go wrong. Let me show you one example. So how many of you got this? Akbar, Umar, Vandana, Mayur?
Yeah, I mean, I think I get it, but honestly, I think an example would be nice.
Okay, so basically what it says is if from the previous input step I am getting a particular column value, okay, in that particular column, suppose if I have n number of records which are repeating again and again, I want to assign them a unique value. Okay, now how I will assign them a unique value? It says whenever there is a change in data in that particular column, then I will assign a new value to it. So if one gets repeat 100 times, for all the ones I will have only one counter value as 1. If after 100 ones 2 will come, then I will assign it 2 as a sequence. Okay, so I'll show you one example here, and this will always work on a sorted values. So I have a column test which has a value number 1, and this is going to repeat 10 times. Now the sequence what I will get now as a part of result will always 1, because my data is my bad actually. So what it says is if I have, okay, it's almost the same but I have taken in a different manner. So if I have a value called test which has a value number 1 which is repeating 10 times, what it will do is if the same value repeats 10 times, what it will do is it will increment 1 to 10. Now this one will become 2 after the 11th. Then again it will reset the value and it will start from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll just create a simple example for it. So column number A, column number P. So 1 is repeating 10 times, 2 is repeating again 10 times. Okay, so I have suppose only column number A coming, and I'll save it. Okay, so one more good thing about Pentaho is, if suppose from my previous team I'm not getting anything, submitted as test, so it will tell you in clearly, okay, this is red, that means there's an error, I'm not getting this field from the back. I can go and define it here. So column A is the one I'm getting. The data is sorted already because we have just created them. Okay, now we'll see this. Cannot find field test. Okay, now here you see we started with 0, the column A value is 1, then it will become 1. Now counter is getting increased, your column A value will remain the same. Now as soon as your column A value will get changed, that means here it has got changed, again the counter has been resetted to 0 and has incremented by 1. Okay, so 10 times this particular record will come, so I am just putting the numbers how many times it has come. So I'm just putting an increment value. Whenever new value will come encountered, it will reset the value to 0 and again incrementing by a particular interval what you are going to define. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
So let's see some more examples. Sequence, then add XML, encode several fields into an XML fragment. Okay, maybe I'll show you later on this thing. Calculator steps is again very simple. Okay, I'll do it here only. So suppose in the same sheet I will add one more column as column number P, and I'll say 2. So basically, as the name calculator stands, it says I am going to do certain calculations on my data. So I'll just remove this. I'll just so okay, one more thing is, okay, so you guys see, certain times what I do is I put the step here like this, and I join the new step with the 2 other steps. Okay, and you see this particular hop is grayed out and this particular hop is in dark red, dark black. Okay, so what it means is when it is in dark black, it means it is active. Okay, so data will flow from here to this. The data won't go to this because this is grayed out. The grayed out means is disabled. Okay, so when I do a right click, it says me enable it. If I enable it, then the data will move. The data which is present here will go here as well as it will go here. Any doubts? Just think like, this is a pipe which contains, where you are passing the water. Okay. So you have put, okay, don't pass the water here, just pass all the water from here, and this is the flow. Okay. Just consider like that. It's a flow of data. Now, in my Excel sheets, the data coming is 2 columns and both of them are numbers, and we'll do some simple calculation like this is the calculator step. You can go and define a new column, say calculated field. Okay. Now here when you click on this particular calculation, a new window will pop up. Now it contains so many predefined calculations. Okay, you select it and it will start working on it. So let's say a simple one would be A plus B. So when I say A and B means field number A and field B. Okay, so similarly you have n number of formulas here. A minus bracket A into B divided by 100. If I do like this, okay, let me take this. So now A for me is column number A, B for me is column number B. Okay, then I need to define the data type. So it will definitely be a number. So you can define all the grouping symbol, conversion, precision, everything. You can define it here, and you can define it here. That's done. So it will show me the values of all of them. Okay. So this is how the calculator will work. So calculator not only define that it will work only with the numerical data like integers and numbers. It will also can work with the dates. Okay, here you can see just if you pass a date, it will pull out the year, it will pull out the month, it will pull out the day of year. So you can do n number of date functions here. You can do n number of numerical functions here. You can do all ceiling, floor kind of functions, rounding off. You can also do on the string. You can do a number of functions here, like removing the tab, removing the left carriage. You can remove the carriage returns here, and there is also one more functionality which is good. So from a string, if you want to remove any of the numbers, okay, so return only digits from string A. So if your string contains some number and you want only the number to be out, there's a predefined formula here. You can just select it and only the number will come out from a string. So you can do n number of things here with just go and have a look at the list. It will contain around 30 to 40 functions predefined. Based on your need, you can just pick it up from here. Okay. Any
One
doubts?
quick question here.
Yeah.
For example, if I have a field like it's 12 characters
Mm-hmm.
and I want it's a x value, so can I do here like pick up the 4 value from right or left and convert it to decimal?
No, no, no. So for that, I'll show you a different function. So it won't work
Okay.
like this here in this. Okay. I'll show you the different
So
functionality.
it pick up the old field. It's not.
No, you can't do with the no. You can't do
something.
that thing with this particular functional step. I will show you the other step to
Okay.
do the same.
Okay.
So you can do in this particular step. You can do only those things which are defined here in this list. Okay.
Okay.
So now, okay, let me take the same thing what you have just talked about. Let me show you here. That is one. String cut is one. So basically in your step, what you have mentioned, right? Take the first 4 characters and then take the another one to cut the another one. So what you can do is you are getting the data as a stream. You can define the in stream name, the column. You can cut the data for first 4 characters, cut from, that means starting from 0, cut the value up to 4. Okay, this is the way. And how you want to concatenate further, you can do that, all those things.
If you put this is if you put from the opposite side, from the right side, then.
So you know very well how big your number, right?
This is picking. Yeah, this is picking up from, okay, yeah, got it. So we change the 0
So
from maybe 8,
8 to
9.
12, 8 to 12 you can do.
Okay. Yeah, got it, got it. Got it.
Okay, so this is the way you can use it. Okay, this is a string cut functionality. So I'll touch about the all the string formula operations. So it's the string operation, particular one. You can define the field. You can define, this is the input field. You can change the name to the output field stream. If you want to trim the data, you can trim the data. Lower and upper, you can define it, lower or upper, like uppercase, lowercase. If you want to put any padding, you can define the paddings, left padding and right padding. How many characters you want to pad, you can define it here. Padding length. If you want your whatever the string which is coming, you want to in it capitalization, you can do init capitalization here also, yes and no. And from the strings, maybe if you see the real data, the raw data, it contains good amount of sometimes if it's a machine generated files, it contains the carriage return and line feed. So you can define it, remove all the special characters which is coming from the file. So all the return carriages, everything will go away if you just click on this. So it will remove all of them. Do you want me to show an example of it, or do you guys want to try by yourself?
Show us a small example.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll show a small example. So we have covered this. So I'll try to cover, I'll try to, see my objective would be to give you n number of use cases from my experience that you will see in a data warehousing industry. Okay, so I'll be focusing more on the scenarios, then only you will get an idea, okay, where to use and how to use. Because once you understand the functionality, you can use it anywhere. So A, B, C, D, E, F. So this is my data set. Okay, now I need to convert them to a string. Okay, now this one, when I let's say get fields, so both of them are strings, so it has automatically picked both of them. Okay, now I want to say all of them, the data is coming in the lowercase. I want it should come as a init cap moving forward from here. I don't want to define any new output stream, so I want the same column name, that is column number A, should get continued further. Okay, so let's see the data here. If you see ABC, the first character has become in capital, right? And if you see the source data, all of them are in lower cases, right? So this is one functionality which we defined is here is yes. If you want to define the padding, you can define the padding on the left and right. So you can define all those things here. And the carriage return is something like, sometime in machines you see, right? Something a box comes up, right? Which is a special characters. So carriage return would be something like this. Okay. Okay, sometimes it comes as a box comes up, maybe you would have seen some files, right? So that is basically a carriage return. So it can remove all those kind of carriage returns, because sometimes what happens is, when you try to compare one string with another string based on the string value, the particular string comparison will fail because of that string carriage present in one of the strings. Okay, so it is always good to put that when you're working with machine generated output files. So you can define, so carriage return, horizontal tab, space. If you want to say space, you can remove the spaces also. Let me show you one example of it. So if you really see, there are good amount of spaces here now. Okay, so it will remove all the spaces from the column number A. Now if you see here, there is no extra space. Correct? Any doubts? So we have seen, most of the normal usage you will see. Replacing string is also one of the things, it is very straightforward. I am getting something in a string, okay, and based on my regex or based on my search, I can define, okay, if this particular value will come, replace it with the particular other value, okay, replace with field. So in my regex, if in ABC is coming, search ABC and replace it with another field, you can define it, or maybe as a complete whole word, you can define it, and you can say, okay, in the search, whether you want to do a case sensitive or case insensitive, you can define it all. So maybe I'll guys, I will, keep this particular thing as an assignment for you guys to try by yourself, because these are very straightforward transformations. Just what you have to do here is, maybe I'll just give you a clue. What you can do is create a input source, go to the Pentaho and connect to this, define the input stream, search, you can just put a parameter called a search. So you can put ABC here, and then give some other thing what you want to replace, and just see what the output will come. Okay, if you face any issues, do let me know, we'll see it tomorrow. Okay, but this is a very basic one, so I'm just leaving for you guys as an assignment to try by yourself. Any doubts? Okay, so I will touch upon some of the complex transformation that I'll be touching it tomorrow. Okay, because these will take time for you to understand. So select values is one of the simplest one, so I'll show you the functionality of it. So what select values do is, it will show you all the metadata which is coming from the previous input stream. Okay, so till here only two columns were coming, that is column number A and column number B. Now it allows you to rename it you can rename the column if you want. So instead of column A, I will say name, so country name, and I can say is a region. Okay, now I can go, if you want to remove the fields, you can click and select the things here. So if you don't want column number A to get passed on, you can just define it column number A, so column A won't get passed from here. Now there is another tab called metadata. You can change the metadata based on your needs. So suppose in the previous tab a data was coming as string, and you have, okay, so it is coming as a string from the inputs field, but all the data which is coming inside that particular string format was a integer value. So you can go and define that data type is, this is an integer value. Okay, so from moving from this particular onwards, this particular column will become integer. So you are changing the data type here. The only thing you have to be 100% confirm would be is it should always get the number values, otherwise the ETL will fail moving forward, because you are changing the data type. Any doubts on this?
So in the metadata, it's just like to change the data type, alright?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now there is another transformation which says you have a field name, set field value. So again, it's, if you see the description, set value of a field with another value. Okay, so any point in time you have a scenario like you have column number A. Okay, let me pull it here. So okay, one more thing I would like to say here, if you want to remove the data, so you don't have to go to step number this tab also for removing it. So suppose if I don't want column number B to pass on, so what I will do is I'll remove it and I will select only what I want to pass. Okay, so automatically what I have not selected will not get passed. Okay, so you don't have to go and type put it here. Okay, so if I say here, okay, you will see only one column will be there, country name, okay, which you just rename. You won't see column number B coming here because we have not selected here in the select part. If I select it here, add new, the column number B, then only you can see it here. If I click here, it will show me, okay, one more is present. So you got the idea, right? We can remove it from there. Okay. Now here, like, if you want to set the field, you can go and if any other field, say column number B is coming, so replace by value from field, you can go and define it here. So column number B will get replaced by that. So set value to a constant. So instead of any column value to get replaced by another column value, if you want any constant to get replaced, if any that kind of field will come, so you can put it here. So for any column number B, replace it by value called 1. Okay, so all the values for column number B will get replaced by 1. So you can put all those kind of logics. Then you have another very simple one, sort rows. So whenever I pass a column here, so this is basically used for sorting like ascending and descending. I go and select a column. So I want all the countries to be sorted. So I can define it in ascending or descending manner. If I say yes, then it will be ascending. If I say no, so it will be in the descending order. Okay, and it will also give you an option, do you want it to be case sensitive, because if it is a number, then there are chances it can be written as India's I capital or maybe India's I lowercase. Okay, so both of them, do I ignore it, consider as one, or do I want to make it in a different? So both are different, so you can define whether if you want to do a case sensitive comparison or not. Okay, so you can also have that kind of option available here. So just say no. Okay, so this is very straightforward, and you can define the sort here as whatever, depending on your RAM, you can increase the size and you can decrease the size, because what it says is, so think like all the sorting algorithms, what is the prerequisite? Anyone can tell me? Maybe everyone would have definitely read in the academic site all the sorting algorithms. What is the prerequisite in all the sorting algorithms? So what it says is, see, in all the sort algorithms, okay, whatever you have understood, maybe read in the academics, is everyone has a prerequisite. All that data should be in memory to do any kind of sorting, right? That is how all the sort algorithm works. Correct? Any doubts on this? So in order to do any sorting, you need to pull all the data in memory, then all the operation will happen in memory. Similarly, here in Pentaho, if you have to do any sorting, you need to pull all the information in memory, okay, then only you do the sorting. Now you will say, what will happen when I have 100 millions of records? So in that case, what happens is, your CPU is so fast in doing the paging operation. So if you have lesser RAM, then what it will do is, every time it starts hitting the hard disk in terms of writing the page files, okay, and it will start doing a swapping of memory, and it will do it so fast you won't realize, and you see everything is doing in memory, but you can easily see the throughput and everything will get slow a lot. Now coming back to the point is, why I have try to put here is, don't use sort a lot. Okay, try avoiding using sort, because this can become a weakest link in your whole ETL chain, because it has to pull all the information in memory, then it will start doing the sorting. So do all the sorting, whatever you want to do it in the database level, because database are meant for it. Database are very, very, very speedy in doing all those kind of operations, sorting, grouping and all. Don't use Pentaho for that.
Is it necessary that we have to pull all the records into
Sorry?
memory for sorting?
Yeah, see how you will do a sorting, right? Unless and until you don't have all the values in with you, how you are going to do a sorting? So
Yeah,
suppose,
correct.
right, you need to have everything in order to compare it. So whether you take any sort, right, binary search and anything, right, how you do it?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you have to pull it.
You have to have everything in memory.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Now the next operation what you see here is split field to rows. So maybe a simple example I can give you here is, okay. So let's say your data size, some data is coming like this: ABC, semicolon, DEF, okay, and this is one, okay. So now my ETL requirement is whenever I see a semicolon in any of the columns, I want this to be splitted as a row. So my output what I want from this is A, B, C, D, E, F, 1 and 1. So this is how I want. So I'll give you data like this, okay, and I want the result like this. That means whenever there is a semicolon, I will split it as a new row. Got the use case, guys?
Yes.
So let's see how this particular use case can be handled by Pentaho. Okay, let me do it. Column A is a string and column B is number, okay. Now what I will do is I will say field to split. Field to split is the column number A. New field name, I don't want to give any new field name, or maybe you can say as column number A underscore new. This is a new column. So let's see the values. So now one row got converted into two. That means column number A underscore new. The first row is ABC and the other one is DEF. So this has splitted. One row has become the two rows. Everyone got it?
Yes.
Yeah. One quick question here.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I have one data I'm showing, for example. Let me just prepare this. I'll paste in chat.
Mm-hmm.
This is the data, for example, in chat I pasted. For example, this is a field. I put a damn record, like 3 records.
Mm-hmm.
From this record, if I want to make one field, like I want to make fields, a separate field that holds these numbers only. How can I do that here in this split things?
Come again. So suppose ABC column.
So this is 3 records.
Mm-hmm.
The whole, the 1 record, 2 record, 3 records. So from these 3, there will be multiple other records, just as example. And what I want is only create a field out of this to grab the numbers. For example, I want a field to grab only 6, 7, 6, and then 4, 7.
So you need
like
only
this.
numerical values?
Oh, from this data.
From this data you need only numerical value, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you. So you remember we just talked about one step in calculator. So let me put this as a
Yeah.
data here. Okay. So you need 676, 47, 67363. Okay. So let's use this data and play around with this. So I'll go back to the calculator tab. Returns only digits from string. That is column number A. That's it. Type is also okay as a number I can define. and the column, the number is calculated field. Column number A is string. Okay, correct. For me is here 1 also. Okay, cool. Now so I will see the calculate field, which is the interest for me. I'll just remove all the other
Yeah.
stuff. Otherwise it will throw an error. Remove it. So you got your numerical fields, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay. Any doubts?
No, clear.
Okay. So we have touched upon, we have
If,
seen that.
for example, if we have many data, for example, this is, we have name, father name, and then date of birth, then we have another field for that holds these data. So we can load those other data, and then in this one we do calculation. So between the load that into output as a table, we can put calculator and separate that, right?
Correct. So basically in this particular step, what we are trying to do is, it says I have a string and I need only numerical digits out of it. So it will go identify the numerical digits.
Okay.
It will give you that.
If it's a mix, for example, it's a 6A7.
6A7. So it will give you, let me see. I have never
maybe
tried
it's-
this kind of thing, but let's try right now. Okay. So A, so it will, I think, let's see.
or me.
Okay. This is one of the use case for you, right? Let me save it and let's see.
Yeah, use case, this one.
So again, it has given you the number. So it is quite, so what it do is, it will just ignore all the, so you remember, like, there's a ASCII value defined it here, how this works. So it will give you every time all the numerical values. So whether irrespective whether it is before a
If
string,
I
after a
grab,
string.
if I grab these, whatever value is between these two brackets, how can these two semicolons?
Okay.
So how we can do that?
Okay. So you need a value. So ABC is here. Then you have a semicolon. Then what you need to grab is for A7 you need to grab.
Yeah, then another semicolon.
Then another semicolon.
So
this
I
is
want
what
to get the data between these two semicolons.
So what you need to do is, let me say, okay, you have to write a complex transformation for it. Okay, it's not so straightforward you will get. So this is one way, is you can do a delimiter, you can split into the rows, and there's also one more is split fields. So what you can do with this particular step is split fields. Here you are converting into the rows. Okay. Now what it will do is, whenever you encounter a special character, a delimiter, say semicolon, it will split into the new columns. Okay, let me show you one example of it. So keeping the same
This
data.
is split fields is working like Postgres split field. They don't function there also. I don't know.
So I am
Like
not sure with
einstr in the Oracle.
any string. No. I
Einstr,
don't.
yeah.
No.
Okay, no.
I'll show you the functionality. Maybe you can just compare with that.
Okay.
Okay. So you have a column number A. Okay. Now what it says is, you have ABC. You have 6A76. Again you have another thing, another 41. And every time you are getting the data like this. So every time you have semicolon separated 4 fields. Now what you can do is, you have to remove that, you have to transform the data to create 4 fields. What you can do is, you can define this column number 1, column number 2, column number 3, column number 4. You can define them like this. Okay. You want to trim, you can trim it. So let's go and join the data here.
Today. Ojalá te regalen hasta
So you got it. So what we have done is, in this scenario, in the previous one, whenever we have a data which has a semicolon separated, what we said is, I don't want to create new columns. Anytime there is a semicolon, two words will come as a part of semicolon in between, split them into rows. So this is the step which we use for it. Now here what we are saying is, I don't need the rows, I need the columns. So whenever you encounter a word separated by a semicolon, create a new column. And I know every time 4 words will come separated by a semicolon, that means I need to create 4 columns. So this is the way you can do it. Okay. So it has split into
But if
A1.
only you load the second column, what can we do that?
Second column means? So see,
Like
what you
on
can
this
do
tree
is,
for
okay,
ABC, then the number, then other.
correct. So see, if you, what you can do is, if you know you need to take only the second one, so you split like this, and from here onwards use only column number 2 for all your calculation. Don't pass column number
Another
1, 3
transformation,
and
right?
4. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. You will create another transformation of out of this one.
Yes, yes. So, so the next step would be, okay. So in this step you got 4 words, okay, 4 columns. So you are interested on column number 2 only. So moving here from onwards, you pass only column number 2 only everywhere. So like you can ignore that, all the other columns. You are interested on
Okay.
a column number 2 only,
Yeah,
just
it's
it
clear.
will show you 2 only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So we have covered mostly. Okay, I'll quickly finish one more, and then we'll wind up for the day. So here is a step called unique rows. As it says, it means unique rows. That means it is going to pass only the unique rows from from this step onwards. Okay. So it's basically a distinct functionality what you see in SQL scripting. So you have an input stream data coming on, put this. So whatever the column you will provide it here. So it will give you the distinct values from here. Okay. The only constraint again here is you need the data to be in sorted manner, because it will see the data two data set at a time. The data should be in sorted format here for passing it on. Okay. So it will pass the data in unique rows. Now another, you have a unique rows hash set. So again the same functionality it applies here. It will also pass data in the unique rows, and the only thing is you don't need data to be in sorted manner. What it do is it will put everything in a memory, and it will provide a hash set. Okay. So it will assign a hash value to everyone, and it can quickly identify from it whether it's a unique or not unique easily. Okay. So that's the only difference between both of them. This requires sorted data, this doesn't require sorted data, because it works on hash principle, and this works on actual matching principle. Now one more last step what I am going to cover for today is value mapper. So how it works is basically, let me give you one example here, then we'll wind up for the day. You have a data coming, and whenever you see the data, so you can define a particular value called column number B. So whenever the source value will be 1, I will assign to, say, Germany, and whenever 2 will come, I will say is USA. Okay. It will do a value mapping. Okay. See, I'll talk about, and if nothing gets matched, then is India. Oops, value mapper. Unpassable number. Okay, okay, got it. Okay. So okay, some value mismatches. Okay, let's do one thing: A B C, A B, B C, and D C. A B C. A B, B C. So it's not matching the data actually because of number issue. So here you can see, right? So I have a data set where whenever, so what you are saying here effectively is whenever in a particular column, if I encounter a value called AB, it is mapped to Germany. If it's BC, then it is mapped to USA. So basically what you are doing is you are passing a mapping to it. So this is the way you can pass a mapping in Pentaho. This is for value, this is called as value mapper. Whenever this value will come, the reference value will come to it, assigned to it. These four. Okay, then we are done till transformation step. Then we'll be talking about the utility, and we'll be tomorrow covering couple of things. We'll cover utility, we'll cover flow, we'll cover scripting, we'll cover also lookup. So all of them are very straightforward. So we'll be covering most of the things which is most commonly used, because it contains a whole lot of things which you will be hardly covering. So we'll see whatever the most of the use in the data warehouse industry.